Welcome to the Codfather. This is our 5th year for you guys with the Women's Club from Acton. We have also done a number of shows with Rick and ActonTV prior to you guys taking us over. So, anyways, we're happy to be here, and welcome, ladies. Hope all you ladies had a nice holiday season. Very good, very good. This is, like Mary said, this is CJ.
How's it going, everybody?
Okay. CJ is the third twin. He's going to step right in. My brother was unable to make it today, so CJ is going to step right in. He's going to do a very nice job for you guys, okay?
All right.
All right, so we're going to go over the menu real quickly. I think initially what we're going to do is we're making a Caesar salad, so we're going to show you how to make homemade croutons. I'm sure most of you guys already know that, but we're going to show you anyway. We're going to make homemade croutons first. Then we're making some nice clams casino. If you guys could see, right on top of the stove, we got a little baking going right now. We got some nice little neck clams from, I was just informed they're from Virginia. I thought they were from Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island.
It's okay. Sometimes it happens.
So we're gonna steam the clams. We're gonna saute the bacon, and we're gonna put a little bit of breadcrumb, and that's gonna make up our clams casino. And then we have a rice primavera, which is just basically, it's a basmati rice that has fresh parsley, has a little bit of Tuscan spice, which is basically oregano and garlic powder, and you'll see that's going to be on the salmon as well. And we're gonna cut some vegetables, some nice green and red peppers, and some scallions, and that's going to get integrated with the rice. And then we're going to make a Tuscan pan-seared salmon. The salmon is from Western Nova Scotia. It's farm raised. So we're going to show you how to take the skin off. We're going to show you how to debone it. We're gonna trim off the belly fat, and then we're gonna cut it, portion it in about 5-ounce portions, and we're gonna pan-sear it. So that's gonna be our show, and we're gonna get started. So first thing we're gonna do is CJ's gonna show you how to make some croutons, right? So ladies, the best thing to do is if you have like stale bread, right? So the best thing to do when you have stale bread, you either make croutons or make breadcrumbs with it, right? You don't want to toss it out. It's still good. So we're just gonna this bread was that was from yesterday at the store, and we sell this at the store. It's delicious. It's par baked. You just got to take it. You put it in the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, and it's like you baked it at home. You throw a little powder on yourself. Your husband comes home. Beautiful. You've been working all day in the kitchen, making bread. So CJ's cutting that up. We're going to take a bowl. Put that right in there. Little olive oil.
Finish up the loaf. Do all that.
Just cut that half, that's fine.
Cool.
You can see we got some water boiling here. I'm actually going to add the clams in there right now. So we made a bunch of these at the store this morning. We made about 80. So you guys are going to be nice. You're going to be nice and full when you leave. Nobody's going home hungry today.
Throw the olive oil, toss it up a little bit, get them all around. A little more, dump that one. There you go. How's that, Joey? You think? You good?
A little more. So you want the bread to be, good and saturated with the olive oil.
A little more.
That's good.
That's good. You like that?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Alrighty.
We're going to put a little bit of the Tuscan spice.
That would be on that side.
Yep. We don't measure anything, right? So it's all by feel. It's all by pinch. Pinch of this, pinch of that. Half a teaspoon of that. Nice.
Yeah. What do you think? Another hit?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Bada boom. All right.
A little bit of dry parsley and a little bit of pepper. Yep, mix it around. Perfect.
There we go.
So as you can see, right, we got some nice croutons. They're all seasoned, nice and easy. Good use of your stale bread, right? We'll put them on a cookie sheet, just like that. And then we put them in the oven at approximately 350, and once they get nice and crisp, they're done. They probably take about 15 minutes or so. Can you smell those clams? Oh, they smell delicious, don't they? They smell delicious. So we clean these. We scrub them with a brush before we brought them because obviously they're in the sand, right? So you want to get that dirt off so you don't have so they're not gritty, right? When you make the stuffing. So CJ, that bacon's done. Why don't you drain that through the strainer?
Cool.
So you can see we got nice bacon here. It's nice and crisp now, but we don't want all that oil in the stuffing. So
Or in the sink. Or in the sink.
Or in the sink. So we're gonna try to, as I said earlier, we're gonna try to work a little bit healthier today, right? We're not gonna go with too much butter. We're gonna use that in a whole lot of different dishes.
That's all right. Let's turn that down.
So there's the bacon. Right? That smells delicious. We're going to take a little bit of butter with the bacon. See, I lied. I lied, ladies. Oh, look at that. So good for you. It's all good. Got a pair of tongs?
Yeah.
Well, we got to make a nice stuffing here, right? I mean, we need nice stuffing. But that's going to be delicious. So now you can see that these clams are starting to open. Right? See how they're nice? They're starting to open here. Can you see them? Okay, so there's another way to do this too. If you want to shuck them when they're raw, alive, you can do that. But this is much easier. So you just take them, pop them in a little water like this. Take them out when they're opening, one at a time. Okay, CJ, you want to set that up? I'll pass you some of these clams.
Okay.
You can just take them right out of here. Take them out of the shell. So these are beautiful. You can see by the color. Yeah, that's hot, right? So. You can see by the color of that. You see the color of that clam? You see how nice and pink that is? It's beautiful, right? Beautiful. From Rhode Island.
Oh. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
These are from Virginia, like CJ said. They're from Virginia. Sometimes they come from Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island.
I'm going to save the shells. Yeah, so save the shells.
All right, so we're just gonna, CJ, you keep an eye on that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna let these clams finish, and they're all gonna pop open, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna do with that. I'm gonna finish off the stuffing. So we got some nice bacon, a little bit of butter, right? Not too much now.
Are you going to use the clam juice?
Absolutely. We're gonna use some just plain breadcrumb, right? Because we got plenty of flavor in here. We don't need any more. I'm doing that crazy. You just dump this in here like this. Right? A little bit of black pepper. A little bit of grated cheese. We want to turn up the heat because we want to cook the breadcrumb.
What kind of cheese?
It's just a Parmesan. Just grated Parmesan. So we want a nice texture here. right? You can see that's still a little bit dry, which we want it because we're going to add some of this this chicken stock here. Yeah, the chicken stock. We're going to add some of this clam juice here that we just got out of here.
Let them cool down before you start touching them. They get hot.
So you just want to add enough of this. This is your flavor right here, right? Just right to your stuffing. You see the texture of that? It's beautiful. Right? Nice. Try to keep it in the pan.
That looks nice.
This is valuable stuff.
That looks really nice.
Yeah. CJ, we got a little extra bacon right there.
Save that for later.
Later. All right, so we got a really nice texture right here. All right, so we're going to shut that off. And then, CJ, you're going to take that.
Cool. Turn that down. Significant.
Yeah, we're going to turn the heat down on this because we want it to cool.
3. Good.
Yep. Now, a lot of times when we make clams casino, we just do the stuffing without the bacon in the clam, in the stuffing. I find it better, you get a nicer bacon flavor if you put it in the stuffing rather than like a slice on top, you know, which is another way to do that. But I think this is nicer, and I think again the flavor of the bacon comes through better. So this is really hot, but we're gonna try to stuff some of these.
So, side note, ladies, your shellfish, sometimes if it doesn't open up, that means it's no good. Just dump it. Let it go. So that's just the name of the game with shellfish.
That's true with anything, right? So that's true with mussels. It's true with oysters, little necks, cherry stones, you know, chowder clams, quahogs.
Go.
So we got these clams. They're all nice. We're gonna release them from the shell. So these here, they got a little mussel right here that you could see. See that little mussel right here? So it's got that little mussel in it. They're still attached. So we're just going to detach them. Now you could do this or not, depending on how much you like your guests. Right? So I really like our guests today. So I'm going to take these off the shell so that there's not that much work. But you can leave them attached. It's not a big deal. And then, you know, people are just going to have to detach them as they're eating them. But I like to leave the clam whole. And then we're going to take some stuffing. You want to start stuffing these a little bit? Yeah.
All right.
We got the stuffing. We're just going to...
Good handful. Just make it look nice. Boom.
Right?
It's a little hot. It's all right.
All right. So that's a real simple recipe for clams casino. It's delicious, and that's what you ladies are going to have for an appetizer. We're going to come back soon, and we'll show you how to make our dressing for our Caesar salad. We're going to cut some veggies to add to our rice primavera, and then finally we'll get on to the salmon. But we'll be back soon. Thank you.
There you go.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to the Codfather. We're here with the Acton Women's Club. So what we have here is we made some we made some nice jasmati rice. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with jasmati rice, okay, so jasmati is a nice fluffy, you know, just a light rice. It's not heavy like a like an arborio rice or anything like that. This is nice and light, and so that's why we want to use this. It's not, again, we're trying to go a little bit healthy on the healthy side.
We do the best we can, right,
We
Joey?
do the best we can. That's all we can do. CJ and I are trying. We got a little diet going on at the store.
We're doing okay, right?
Yeah. You know, we're in the seafood business, so we see food, we eat it. It's about what we do. All right, so I'm going to give CJ a couple of peppers. All right. And a bunch of scallions. I'm going to prepare the pan. Just a little bit of olive oil. We're going to cut the red and the green peppers up. We're gonna cut up the peppers nice and small. We're going to saute them just a little bit, right? Because we don't want them. Still want that nice crunch, but we don't want them to be raw in here either, because you'll get a nicer flavor when we saute them just a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing with the scallions. So the scallions, I always just cut off the very tip. On both sides. I like the white, so I don't throw it all away. Some people do. Just cut them up nice and fine. And again, these you can put in raw. So we just cut this up like that. So you always want to use the best olive oil you can find.
I'll give you all that right now, baby.
Good. Dump it right in there. So you can smell those scallions. They smell unbelievable. Mm. CJ, you want to cut up a lemon? We'll put a little lemon in there.
Sure.
Now I tend to cut peppers a little differently than he did, right? So I go down the sides.
How am I cutting this lemon, Joey?
You got a little waste, a little bit more waste, but it's quick.
How am I cutting this lemon?
We're going to just squeeze a little bit in here.
Gotcha.
And again, these peppers, you don't want to overcook them. Just real quick. I have not.
Oh, you're working on a book?
I am, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
nice.
Yeah. I always say, if you don't learn something new in a day, you wasted a day. Oh, look at that.
CJ's a philosopher too. In his off time, in his time off,
Something
which he
like
doesn't have much of. CJ works a lot. He's in the store. He's in the store more than I am. He takes control. He's very good at what he does. So we're just gonna let that saute for 2 minutes. We keep this moving. That lemon juice is going to give a nice flavor to the rice. You can see we got another pepper here, 2 peppers, and another thing of scallions. We got a lot of rice, but I just want to show you how we're going to prepare the vegetables to put in there. And that's about it. That's all we want to do. Shut that heat off. We're going to put that right in there. We're going to put the rest of the vegetables in there as well. And there's your rice primavera. Just like that. You could put anything you want in there too. Like you could put carrots if you like the sweetness of carrots, or
Mushrooms.
peas, broccoli, mushrooms, anything you want. You know? Okay, so we're gonna put this aside for a minute. We're gonna cut up the rest of the veggies for that.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet.
50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
Dinner. Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plate.
Wait.
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Welcome back to the Codfather. I'll tell just a quick story about that name. We rented a house up in Maine, up in Biddeford, and across the street from us, an older gentleman had a house right on the ocean, and he had a wheel that said, the Godfather, not Godfather, it said the Godfather's fishing vessel or something like that. Anyways, I was there with my son. We were walking to the beach and saw it. He's like, oh, that's look at that, Dad. It's kind of cool. So we started doing this show, and being in the fish business and everything, he said to me, he's like, Dad, remember when we were up in Biddeford and we saw the thing, the Godfather, and this. He says, why don't you call the show the Codfather? And I said, you know what, Eric? That's a great name. Now I know that he didn't know about it, but I do think that someone else has that name, right? So we stole it, but it really was my son Eric that brought it to light, and my brother loved it. I loved it, so we've been using it ever since. And if you guys have watched the show, they play the Godfather music, and which I've been, I don't know if you guys know Tony Soprano from The Sopranos. A couple of people told me that I could be him.
That's Tony.
I don't know about that. I got a full head of hair. A bald wig. So we're gonna show you how to make the salmon, but we did prepare a whole bunch at the store for you guys. So we got a nice. All right. So we got a nice Tuscan rub, and what we did, we took the skin off. We're going to show you how to do that. We took out the pin bones, because you know that salmon, what they say is salmon has a floating rib cage, right? So the pin bones they stay in there. We cut these in about 5-ounce servings, and I think the easiest way to cook salmon. I mean, you can do it on the grill. You could do it. You can broil it. You can bake it. You can do whatever you want. But we're gonna pan sear it, right? We're gonna get a non-stick pan. We're gonna get a little bit of olive oil, really hot, and we're gonna do it maybe 2 to 3 minutes on a side, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shut the pan down, and we're gonna cover it, and let it sit for about 8 to 10 minutes. That's it. That's all you have to do. It keeps the moisture in there. The salmon is You'll tell. The salmon it's luxurious.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a big word for me.
Nice word. Nice word.
How'd I do?
Good.
I did all right?
Good.
CJ's going to take a little bit over right now. I'm going to cut some lettuce for the Caesar salad. CJ's going to make the dressing.
Okay, so for the Caesar salad, I want to get some lemons. I already squeeze. So you want to take some, roll them up, gets all the juices, breaks up all the flesh. Got a nice bowl, strainer.
Show them how you do that, CJ, how you roll them.
I got you. All right. There you go, ladies. There you go. That's it. I roll pretty well.
CJ does such a nice job at that, I make him show everybody.
There you go. I pre-did a few of them, so just a couple. We got a good amount of people, so go with maybe 3 lemons, maybe. Oh, you can always go less and add. You can't go back, There you go.
That's true. You never take it out. You can always put more in.
There you go. Boom.
Yep. We're going to use romaine. Now, you guys probably know that there was a hold on romaine, right? That was about, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or so? Yeah, but it's okay now.
I'll take the first bite. That's good.
So with the romaine, what I like to do is I usually cut off this here because I don't like that in a salad. It's just too, yeah. And I cut down the middle, and then I just chop. So you get you get good bite-sized pieces. like that. Nice and easy. This is pre-washed. Yep, we buy it pre-washed. Honestly, in the store, we don't have time to wash every head of lettuce. So we buy it pre-washed. It's a nice, it's so much easier to use. It's a little more expensive. That's why the salads are a little bit more expensive than French fries. But yeah, we make a salad at the store that you can get a nice piece of grilled fish on top of a salad. The salad is just it's lettuce, tomatoes, capers. You guys like capers? Yeah. Lettuce, tomatoes, capers, and grated cheese. It's a nice salad. It's good. But we like the Caesar here because we get to make the dressing.
Okay, so once you got all that done, we use heavy-duty mayo. Just tastes better in our opinion. You know, we use it in the store. It works all nicely there.
It's the heaviest mayonnaise that you can buy. It's almost double the amount of eggs that you get in Hellmann's. Yeah. It's a U.S. food. That's where we buy a lot of our product from, and it's a U.S. food brand. But it's extremely, you'll taste it. It has such a nice flavor, but it's heavy. It's heavy duty. The closest is probably Hellmann's, or maybe Cane's. Could be Cane's. You know, either one. You know, but like that Miracle Whip stuff, and right, that's horrible.
So we put the mayo in, get a whisk going, and you can see it's really soupy. That means not enough mayo. So we're just gonna keep going and add it to it. Cheese. We're gonna get there. I like to get the consistency first, then I jazz it up.
He's a jazzy guy.
No, I like at the store how you have those grills you inside.
Yeah. So we're also. I just redid the kitchen in Concord. So we're maybe thinking of doing some broiled. You know, like putting in a salamander. A salamander. So a salamander is, so you got a range, right? Like a cook range, and it's a broiler basically. It's a broiler above the range, so you can either bake in there or you can broil fish in there, and it's quick. So I don't know. We'll see. We're this summer, actually, if you've been down to Concord recently, the alley that was next to the store where you could drive through, they shut that down. So now there's a big picnic table in there. There's some seats out there. So in the summertime, you could sit outside, and we put a window in, which I'm not telling anybody. None of you guys work for the town of Concord, right? Anyway, so we put a window in there. And hopefully we're gonna see if we can do a little bit of serving out through the window and take orders there, and see what happens.
Okay, so once you get your consistency right, you want a little thick, but not too thick. We throw the Parmesan cheese in, and there's really no wrong amount of Parmesan cheese, anything you do. So let's get a little bit going. Maybe a little more. Mix it up, see if you want to hit it one more time.
CJ always wanted to be Italian.
You know, I'm from the dark side of Sicily. I'm the boot.
So, yeah, so he's been working at the store now, like I said earlier, about 10 years. And he's really starting to talk Italian a little bit now.
All right, so you get your cheese, Parmesan cheese in there. Then hit it with some black pepper, not too much. You don't want it to overtake it, but just a little bit of it so you have a taste behind it. And then you want to actually let the colors show, enough so you can see it in the consistency. There you go. And then that's just a Caesar dressing that we just use. We just quick, easy.
No, we don't use anchovies, only because we used to use like an anchovy paste, but the problem with that, it's really salty, number one. And number two, not everybody likes it. You know, so if as you guys know, if you go to a restaurant, they always ask if you want anchovies on the side or whatever. I mean, I love them, but you know, they're not very good for you. So we don't use them. And that mayonnaise will take care of it not being good for you without the anchovies in there. You know, so.
Okay.
So with a Caesar salad, as you know, you always dress at the end, right? You don't want to dress too early, so we're not going to dress this yet.
Put it in the fridge.
Put it in the fridge. We're not going to dress this yet because the lettuce, this gets very wilted, you know, from the, actually it's mostly from the lemon juice, you know. We have two kinds of salmon at the store. We have farm-raised salmon and we have wild salmon. The wild salmon is from, hold it up out here so, you know.
Okay.
All right, so we have a couple of tools here that we use for the salmon, and I'll explain that in a minute. But so this is farm raised. This is from Western Nova Scotia. We've been using the same farm. It's Aqua Farm or Aquafine Farm. It's in Nova Scotia. We've been using the same farm for 28 years. Okay, we've been in business 28 years in Concord. When I used to work in Cambridge at Fresh Pond Seafood, we used the same salmon down there. So literally, I've been cutting the same salmon for, how old am I? 50?
Don't tell nobody.
What am I, 40, 42?
Thought you're 41.
Well, everybody's laughing hard at that one. Anyways, I've been doing this since I've been 15 years old. So, you know, this is the salmon that we've always used. It's beautiful, never had a complaint about it. It's a great product. So we're going to pull out the pin bones. Like I said earlier, that salmon has a floating rib cage. So when you cut the fish, a lot of like cod or haddock or something like that, you cut around the bone, right? And the bone is just on the rib cage. Well, this here, the rib cage is further down here, but there's a floating rib cage that's higher up in the fillet, which is up and around here. Right? You can see the bones probably sticking out a little bit, right? CJ's going to start taking them out and he's going to show you what they look like. Even though I'm sure that you guys have done this before. And you may have a pair of tweezers or something at home that does it. These here, I think these are called
Surgical clamps.
forceps. Is that what they're called? All right. We got nurses here?
Most of them.
I bet. Anyway, yeah, so those are called forceps. Okay. I don't know why I thought they were called like hemo something.
I thought just surgical clamps.
All right.
You know, but it's quick.
Hemostat, they're saying.
Yeah, hemostat. That's what I thought they were called. Or hemo something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. These are what so these are what we use because you can take out a bunch of them, you know, really quick. You know? And they work really nice, and you know, you don't want those bones in there. But you can see how big they are. You know, hold them up again, CJ. They're not little tiny bones. They're big. You know? So he's going to take those out, and then he's going to show you how to skin it. So, as you can see, I brought my own knife for this because you need a really thin knife, a boning knife, exactly. You need a knife that'll bend, right? Because you want to get under the skin and between the skin and the meat, and you want to just pull like this. And it has to be very sharp. I sharpened it before we came. And then CJ's going to show you. He's going to put, when he gets done with that, he's going to put a little bit of water on the board, which will make the knife slide nice. It just makes it so much easier. Okay? And you saw what he did here. So he pulled the bones up to about here. Because the tail end, there's no bones. There's no bones in the tail end.
Just a little splash.
So, yep. So he's gonna put a little splash on the board. Move it around. Yep.
There you go.
And then CJ and I have competitions on this all the time.
So
who can skin the fish better?
it's easier if you get the salmon closer towards you so you can use the edge. I think that he says that's a beginner move, but I think whatever works, works, right?
Right.
There you go. So you start at the end. Just get under there nice. Work it. Get it about
No pressure, baby.
about halfway. Flip your flesh up. And then you can just let it slide. Your board doesn't move. You want to hold the board, Joey? I won't cut you, I promise.
All right.
All right. So you get about halfway, then you can just pull, really.
You see how that just slides?
Let's move it up a little bit.
Let's give you a little more water. Make it nice for you, baby.
All right.
There you go.
Appreciate you.
Will you do that for us in the store?
Yeah, we'll skin it, bone it. Yep. All you got to do is ask.
Okay.
And if someone says no, you let me know. And they will not be working there the next day.
So, what about them? It's like a belt.
So see, that's a great job. That is really a great job, right? As you can see, so there's two different ways to cut fish. And I'm going to get to you, I'll answer your question in a second, but there's two different ways to cut fish. Down the fish pier, they cut for meat. That's what it's called, right? So they're cutting quick. They just want to get to the next thing and move it on. In a retail store, you got to cut for yield, right? So you got to get the yield. So when you skin a piece of fish and it looks like that, you're making the most money that you can make. You know what I mean? Because as an old timer once told me years and years ago, anything that you keep out of the barrel, you can put directly in your pocket, right? So, and to get to your question, why did farm-raised salmon have such a bad rap? So farm-raised salmon, and you know they still do it. There's some farms that aren't real reputable that they do farm in the ocean, but they do it in a smaller area. So this farm has, I don't know, 3,500 miles of ocean that they farm in. It's massive. It's huge. There are farms that are smaller, and what they do is they pack the pen. They just load them up with the small ones, and then they feed them pellets. So these are all naturally fed, but they feed them pellets, and they grow very quickly. And you'll see sometimes, see that nice color? I mean, that's a beautiful piece of salmon. Sometimes you might see them where they're like really, really pale or really, really red, almost like that Capo River salmon. That's naturally like that, but sometimes you'll see farm-raised salmon that has that color, and you want to stay away from that. But that's the reason that farm-raised salmon had such a bad rap, because some people they just don't do it the right way. So
Should we trim it?
yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of the time, the trim will come right off when you cook it, but it's a lot of flavor in that. So sometimes you like it. It depends on preference.
So we're gonna take that fat off, because if you're gonna pan sear, right, you want to take that fat off because that's gonna burn. Okay.
Do your best. You don't have to go crazy.
You could just ask us to do it when you come in and buy your salmon at Twin Seafood. Nowhere else, right? All right.
I was wondering why we stopped there. So
Yeah,
what happened?
just a little hesitation.
Okay, so
All
that's
right?
good.
Yep. So so when you come in, we can do whatever we did here.
Real big you want them.
We want about 4 to 5 ounces. CJ's pretty good with the knife too. Like I said, we have friendly competition at the store on when someone comes in, and we got some customers that'll ask for exactly a pound.
Missed one. Oh.
That'll ask for exactly a pound, and
Sorry. It's hard to get exactly.
yeah, we're actually we're pretty good. We do pretty good. So I'm going to start the pan for this, right? And it depends on, I mean, if you're cooking for 2 people, this size pan is fine. But if you got a bunch, right, a nice big 14-inch non-stick, yep, perfect, right? So let me turn this on.
We want to put the other salmon in too, Joe?
Yeah,
The tray behind us.
yep. So we're going to let that get good and hot. Let me show you the croutons.
Over here.
No, not those. The ones we made.
Okay, so that's done.
The ones you made them in the oven still.
Yeah, they're right here. See? Nice and crisp. Right? Beautiful, right? And that's, you know, throw nothing away. Use the old bread for this. It's great to make breadcrumbs, bread pudding. So we just want to get this nice and hot.
Okay.
Not yet, right? So we did see it. You'll hear it sear. Just a little bit of butter for flavor. And honestly, I know you ladies are expecting me to put this piece in instead of that, but I'm going to go with this one. But you just want it for flavor, right?
So since each fillet is a varying
Thickness.
so what's the trick in getting it all?
So we got a Tuscan spice. It's a dry spice. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to that.
To this? Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Go ahead, mix that. We want to get it like a paste.
I got
The
a glove.
spoon's in there. So that spice is really, it's just oregano. It's parsley.
Maybe a little more oil, Joey.
It's a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder. And that's really about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So we got that
And then
paste you were
get
talking
the,
about.
Let's get the stainless steel bowl. Put a couple pieces in here. Just enough so I can put some in the pan. Go ahead.
Yeah, hit it.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit, and then rub it in.
All right.
It's almost like a dry rub, like you would use for like ribs. So if you're making ribs, you make a dry rub and put it on it. Yeah, so that's olive oil, dry oregano, dry parsley, garlic powder, onion powder, and dehydrated onion. Yeah. And it's nice to just put a little bit of olive oil on there so that it sticks to the meat, you know? That's good.
There you go.
Right, so you can see how they're nice and covered?
Yeah.
Both sides, nice. Get them in there.
All right. Alrighty.
Yeah, and you want to cook them. You don't want to cook them on the side, right? So you want the thick.
Keep
You want the
working on
thick to be up and down. If that makes sense, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but you want to cook them this way rather than this way. Okay. So now you can hear that. That's already going pretty good. But we want this to sear, right? So we're only going to let this cook approximately, I'm going to say maybe 3 minutes on a side, 3 to 4 minutes on a side. And again, it depends on how much you put in your skillet at one time. But so we're just going to let that cook. And then at home, what you're going to do with that is you're going to let it sear on both sides, get a nice crisp. Do you like your salmon crisp rather than like poached, poached salmon? Right, so the poached salmon is always soft. It's delicious, but it's soft. This here, you don't like the poached salmon?
No, not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
So this here, you let it go, and then what you're going to do is you're gonna cover this, and you're gonna just let it sit, right? So you want it to get a nice crisp texture on both sides, and then we can cover it, and you'll see. I'll move it off the heat, put it on a separate different burner, and you'll see that it will just continue to steam
Oh, that smells nice.
inside the pan, right? Delicious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll continue to steam inside the pan, and it will cook the rest of the way through. Or you could take it and you could put it on a cookie sheet and roast it in the oven. Put it in the oven at a very high temperature, like 450, 475, for
Okay,
about
those
8
are all
minutes or
set.
so.
Bada boom.
Bada boom.
There you go. Italian, see?
Yeah, he's starting to get comfortable now. I don't know about that. That scares me a little bit. He's gonna take it all over soon. Now we got a nice, we're starting to get a nice sear on that. See it? See, as you can see, it didn't take very long, did it? Right? So literally like 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and it's so easy. It's just, you know, you're only using one pan. You're not dirtying every pan in the house, right? It's nice and easy. Now, you know, this stove it's an induction stove, so you got to have special pans for it. Personally, I don't know what you guys like to cook on, but I like to cook on gas. You know, so I can control it better. I don't know, maybe I'm a control freak or whatever, but
Not you, Joey.
no, not me.
Not you.
But it's beautiful. Beautiful. And you can do this with swordfish. Same thing. You could do it with halibut, tuna. You know, like I was saying earlier, I was thinking about maybe doing sushi here one day, but I didn't know how that would go over if that would go over well or not. But it doesn't all have to be raw fish, you know. It could be that California roll. See how nice that sear is? And you just want to be easy with it, right? You don't want to move it all over the place because it's it'll fall apart. Just let it cook. Leave it alone. Nice. Walk away. You know, get yourself a nice glass of wine. CJ, you got the wine?
Oh, I forgot it. I forgot it this time.
So
We're Scotch people here, right? There you are.
all right, see?
All right, here you go, baby.
Not yet. All right. So now we're going to take that off of there. Usually, you know, I usually just have a glass cover or a Pyrex, whatever. We don't have one of those here, so we're just going to cover this with foil.
Can that pan go right in the oven?
It can.
Nice.
Yep. This might take a little bit longer than what I told you guys. This isn't real tight. And it's real hot. So we're going to just move that off there, and we're going to let that sit there for about 8 to 10 minutes, and it'll cook the rest of the way. And
There you go, Joey.
yeah,
Nice and
I think that's all we got for right now. So we're going to take a little break, and that's the Tuscan salmon.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
All right, ladies, so welcome back to the Codfather. We had a great show today. We're so happy that you guys came again. And CJ and I have we displayed everything out here. We think it looks beautiful. We got the salmon with the rice primavera here. We got a little bit of extra salmon, plus we have plenty in the oven, so please don't be shy. We have our Caesar salad with the homemade dressing that CJ prepared. And we have our rice primavera here on the side. So we're going to ask everybody to start coming up, and we're going to we're gonna dish out the food to all you hungry ladies. And we're gonna put out the plates. CJ we just have one more thing that we like to end our show with. And CJ, you got it?
I think so.
All right. We prepared a meal for you they can't refuse.
There you go.